versus the former Quantic, now Team Nom Nom. We'll see where they go from here. First band sticking with the same plan they had game number 1. Cassin going to be the first one out. Nocturne from CLG, same plan so far.
Yeah, and a quick shout out, guys, to all the voice actors. So, the voice actors, we were able to get Adam Harrington down to IPL 5. Same thing with Eric Bra. And they're all really cool guys. So, always cool to support them. And I mean, you guys should definitely support them as well. I know Adam Harrington, he uses @HarringtonVO for his Twitter and also his YouTube channel. But they do a lot of really cool stuff. And Melissa, what's her last name? Melissa, the voice of Ash. I don't remember, but Melissa something. I'd have to look that up. So sorry, but she actually just won a VGA award for Walking Dead for voicing Clementine, so the little girl. So that's very cool, and she does the voice of Ash. They're all really cool people. So big thanks to them and Christina V and everyone for helping out with IPL 5.
And also, while we're on the string of shoutouts here, also shoutouts to Mad Cats, because we're actually giving some stuff away. We have the Strike 7
cool.
and Rat 7 mouse to give away still as part of our giveaways of IPL. So IGN.com/IPL giveaway. Hit a whole bunch of buttons and you'll be entered in to win the set. You get the keyboard and the mouse. That's actually what we used over at IPL 5. Fantastic stuff. And you can adjust that mouse thing. That thing is amazing. Meanwhile here, though, the bands have gone down already while we are giving our array of shoutouts, and that is a first pick Diana coming in here for the former Quantic.
Well, Diana's just a really strong champion overall, so that definitely makes sense as that first pick. TF was still available, so they could consider it, but one of the strengths of Diana is that she does very well against TF. She can pick up kills against him easily in lane, so that's kind of a scary pick. And then she has that forcing potential. So as opposed to last game, all of a sudden, completely different. Quantic can force those fights, but Pantheon, the king of solo queue right now being played by CLG.
And I can tell you right now, he's going mid. He has to be going mid, because that's the thing. We saw game number 2 between Curse and Fear this morning. We saw Fear actually pick up a Talon to go up in the mid. And that is the big thing right now in solo queue, is you have the AD bruisers going up against the melee range APs. And especially
it's a strong counter. It's always been a strong counter, and it's only stronger with these buffs.
And it's only stronger with 5 black cleavers, maybe even 6.
And one of the wild things, if you guys don't recognize why Pantheon is an insanely strong champion right now, so Pantheon, he's always been really strong in lane, and he's been really good about snowballing fights and whatnot. I used to actually like playing AD bot Pantheon, so AD and support, he can win most lane matchups. But one of the wild things with Pantheon right now, because the Black Cleaver, the passive stacks, it's not a unique passive, which is just insanely strong. And because it does so much, his Pantheon's E ability, it actually counts as him doing multiple hits very quickly in a short duration. And so what happens is when Pantheon uses his E with multiple Black Cleavers, in 1 second, it instantly just shreds all of your armor.
Yeah.
So it's just brutal, insane amounts of damage from Pantheon right now.
If he wasn't doing already enough, and just the fact that the armor pen does not, it's not a unique passive. It keeps on stacking. Very early on, the moment he gets that first Black Cleaver, he's going to be doing near true damage to everyone. That's a very frightening thought.
Yeah, it's very scary, but we'll see what they do with it. Heil9 picking up Hecarim, and we've seen him play that some in the past. Him and I Will Dominate are almost the only 2 people I see play Hecarim in competitive play, but Hecarim is just an insanely strong ganker. The mobility that Hecarim has, he's able to be all over the map, and when he dives in for kills, you're like, holy, crap. What the hell just happened, because he's so fast into lanes. Ezreal being picked up by CLG, so they get that safe AD carry. That's going to help them out a lot. And I'm curious where they're going to be sending these lanes, and if Sejuani is going to be jungling for CLG. So Sejuani gives them that tanky presence, but pick-off potential, it gives them a nice tanky body to protect Pantheon some, but really hard initiation as well. So we'll see where they go with that. Twitch and Singe potentially going to be those last picks there. And Twitch, the AoE that Twitch has right now is just absurd.
This is... I am very confident looking at both of these teams and say these are Season 3 teams.
Yes.
These are... I would you would on most days never see this combination of champions in season 2. Maybe the former Quantics team on a very rare occasion you see this specific lineup of champs, but to see like champs like Sejuani coming back, to see champs like Pantheon coming back, like this is what the changes of season 3 are now opening the doors for. And there's been also a lot of talk because there's a lot of people out there like near since Sejuani's launch. Is like when will Sejuani have her time? When will she have her spot? When will she be on the tier of competitive play? We may see it. It may be her time.
It's still going to be tough though because her base damage and scaling isn't very good, and that's the biggest issue with Sejuani. That really she struggles with. But we'll see what they can do with her. We've seen her played some in the past. I know some people have messed around with AP Sejuani mid some in the past as opposed to playing her as a jungle. But it's actually, if they go with that Galio, that would definitely be Galio top for Hotshot. So Kennen, that's definitely a champion that we've seen. Actually, I can't think that we've seen Hotshot play it, but it feels like a Hotshot champion. It's a very safe pick. It has, one good ultimate that you can use for team fights later on. So it's kind of like when he plays that split push Galio. We've seen him play split push Galio some in the past, and Kennen works kind of in the same fashion. But it could be a Kennen mid as well.
And also, like you look at these two teams, like these are two AOE teams, which are not what we would normally think of when you think AOE team, because you think like a big initiator like a Mumu would fit into that role. But I mean, look at the former Quantic side: Zyra ult, Hecarim ult, Diana pullback, Riven. These are champs all with very large. Twitch, look at Twitch with that ultimate. This is a massive AOE of death coming from former Quantic. But then again, you look on CLG side: Sejuani with a fantastic start, Cannon ult, Pantheon ult. And Lulu with her ultimate in the middle of all that mess.
And I'm just really excited to see what both of these teams are trying to do. Quantic has a little bit more damage than CLG. CLG in particular, they have quick burst damage early on in the game, so they're going to try and just burst kill people and take them out. But we'll see what's going to go on. It's going to be a really cool situation. I think one of the cool things is going to be Kennen and Sejuani's ultimates, they just don't have that much damage as the game progresses. They really drop off a little bit if you can bait them out or survive them. But if not, then it's a great situation. I mean, I think one of the cool things is Sejuani, if Hecarim comes in with his ult, Sejuani throws her ult, and it completely counters Hecarim. It stops him dead in his tracks. I think that might have been one of the reasons they picked him.
It's definitely a weird. It's something you don't commonly think of, but it works. It definitely works, and we'll see how well it works, if it works, once we actually get into this game. But what I want to see, actually, I want to see anyone's rune page.
It's like sidetrack for a little bit because we just got some good news on the side.
Well, that's later.
Right? No, I'm talking about. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I was distracted.
I want to take a look at anyone's runes and masteries, with the exception of Big Fat, because I don't want to give anyone in solo queue any ideas.
Oh, right. Yeah, we'll definitely take a look at this. Sorry, I stepped off for a second.
Here
we go, the Pantheon. There's some damage. Take a look at all that. Health, 21, 7, and 2. So the 2 there, getting that flash and whatnot. But magic resist, that's for that mid lane. That'll help them out some.
You know what? Let's also take a look at Sejuani.
Oh, we're definitely looking at Sejuani.
Because there are a lot of people who don't often
regen.
get to see Sejuani or ever get to see Sejuani.
And the 21 definitely makes sense. She needs, because she's pretty slow at taking down minions, she gets a little bit more damage from the bladed armor, but it really just makes her tanky enough so she can gank quickly. And that's one thing with the jungle, because of the increased damage of the jungle, a lot of junglers are forced to go 21 into the defense, because otherwise you're just too squishy early on. You lose too much health before you even get out to lane and out to those ganks.
Also, it's always worthwhile taking a look at whatever Hotshot's doing. 26, 2 and 2. Damn, man. That's going to be quite a bit of damage there.
And that's funny. That's one of the things that Riot said that they wanted to increase was the viability for people to just go heavy into one page. And, I mean, it gives Kennen maybe that lane harass back that he's been missing.
Yep.
So getting the damage and the ability power, it's that hybrid kind of Kennen can maybe allow him to win that lane. And that's not something you would have used to have seen, to go more than 21 into a tree. Yuzuki going 21, 9, and 0. Again, being very popular, but cooldown reduction. So at the top of that offensive page, Did we look at Nian? I don't remember. So movement
real
speed
quick.
on Diana, 9-0 and 21. So going heavy utility on Diana.
Yep, and actually we're seeing that a lot more now out of the AP mids. They actually, it's more of like a stylistic choice now. Where do you want to go full devoted into offense tree, or if you want to go full into the utility tree? And again, that's that flexibility because I can't but pretty much all of season 2, I can only think of one champion that would ever play mid where I wouldn't go 29 in offense, and that would be Rise on some occasions.
Yeah, I mean, really, you're right. There's a lot of champions you would go 29 in offense or 21 in offense.
29 in offense would be great too.
9 was pretty common on AP champions. You usually you would go 9-0 and 21 a lot on a lot of AP champions, but we'll see where they go. I mean, it's a lot of versatility. I'm still trying to like get my head back in this game. So here we go, guys. Really nice AoE from CLG. They have great pickoff potential, but really it's all about getting Big Fat snowballing. They want to get Big Fat to just pick up kills, and it's funny because that's not something that you would have seen from CLG 6 months ago. Big Fat tended to play a very defensive mid lane. He tended to sit back a little bit more. And now he's being a lot more aggressive. He's running around. He's making plays with Chalster. Like, the second that Chalster went into the jungle, CLG, it's the Chalster Big Fat synergy. And Big Fat's been able to run around. And I'm really excited to see what he can do here. But same thing with Quantic. I mean, they have a very impressive team. Cloth armor from the end. He doesn't want to even have to deal with that. So he knows it's going to be a really tough lane for him.
But it's the right call, though. And it's a call you're going to have to make. There's way too much physical damage.
Particularly if he wants to do utility masteries as opposed to defense masteries.
Right. Yeah, but there's way too much damage. There's way too much damage. You have to do something to mitigate it. Otherwise, you're going to get stomped out so quick. And again, we talked about this we talked for a while for the first set that when you have someone melee range AD bruiser, one of the best things you can do against a melee range AP, just smack into the face a few times. And Cloth Armor, at the very least, will allow him to do that. Turtle finding double lift in that brush. Glitterland's not going to be hitting its mark. CLG backing off here from the try in bot lane. And where will I was thinking for a second, where's Stage 1 going to start? It looks like hovering over to the blue side, so may just do the standard route.
And he hasn't actually leveled anything yet, so in case he needs to get that quick escape, but we'll see where he's going to start. Probably with that W first.
Yep.
Yeah, really it's the only option first. You can go with the Q if you're being pressured, but I'm curious to see how that route's going to work. I think one of the cool things is the Hunter's Machete in particular maybe is going to make Sejuani viable, because the biggest difficulty that Sejuani's always had is how weak she is at clearing the jungle. She's just very slow. The jungle, it has been buffed as well, so that's going to make things difficult. But having that Hunter's Machete, it's kind of like Rammus also. Rammus is a really strong champion that's very weak in the jungle. And so it's very easy to counter jungle him. Both Rammus and Sejuani are very easy to counter jungle in the past, but we've seen Rammus being played by M5 some recently.
Yeah.
And it's that Hunter's Machete, even with the jungle being buffed, that made that viable. So it's a really cool new item, and I'm excited to see what she can do now.
Yeah, and there are a lot of champs actually in the rumblings. Even when the patch was on PvE, Rammus was one of them. Fiddlesticks also came to mind. There's just a lot more champs can now go back into the jungle. Evelyn, even. Granted, it didn't actually happen game number 1, but I've seen it. I've seen the Evelyn in the jungle. They're making a comeback.
And now we see everyone setting off in their lanes. This is a really dangerous bot lane. Twitch has so much burst damage, particularly once it gets level 2 and 3. He can trade with anyone, and it's just the insane burst. It's ridiculous. Look at that. That is the burst that Twitch has. That is ridiculous. Like, I hate laning against Twitch right now just because of how much quick burst damage he has in lane. And that makes him a very formidable laning opponent, which allows him to free farm into that powerful Twitch late game where he just AoEs your entire team.
And the worst part, too, is that Turtle, he went for the long sword first, so he's actually looking for the quick Vamp Scepter. So once he gets that gold, once he gets that sustain, not only is that burst potential huge, he's not going to be backing as often as he normally would. He's going to still be there. He's going to be a consistent threat, and he's still going to be in your face.
This is also really cool. I want to point out, like, boots and health pots has been the standard for the longest time, but look at these starting items. Not a single pair of boots on Quantic. There's one pair on CLG, but I still think it's really strong at ADs, but in particular, Pantheon, he started off with the Crystalline Flask, and one of the biggest weaknesses of Pantheon early on has always been his mana pool. He has a very small mana pool with compared with the spammability that he wants to get off with spamming the Q harass. But he starts off with a Crystalline Flask and a ton of mana potions, which allows him to spam in lane, which is very cool. And then Kennen, the reason that Kennen stopped seeing play was because Kennen didn't have enough damage in lane, but now it seems Hotshot has enough damage. He's able to, wear down Yuzuki a little bit, and he hasn't even bought anything yet. So it's going to be cool to see what he buys. If he goes for maybe a quick Aegis, gets that the cloth armor item, or maybe promote. He could go promote on the side lane. I have no idea. That's what's so exciting, to get that rejuvenation bead.
It's a lot of options.
It could go into the promote item. It does build into that.
It could. That would be, well, and that would just be right up Hotshot's alley. That is
right.
That is his play style. He loves to split push. But here's the thing, though, is that now that now that he's on a champion that doesn't actually have that global presence, now he's Shen Ken instead of Shen. He's going to need some sort of way to supplement his lack of global presence, and that's absolutely perfect. So, I'm just going to promote a mini in the top lane, and then I can wander down to mid. It'd be just like having me there. Hotshot
does have to watch out a little bit because Riven just has so much burst damage. One of the cool things about the Riven Kennen lane, it used to be a lane that we used to see a lot, but Riven has enough damage to take down Kennen usually, but Kennen, if you play it safely, you can get that stun and run away. But Chalster coming down into the bot, watching. Wild Turtle is very low. There's the Glitter Lance as well. Doublelift trying to get it. The cleanse. The W picks up first blood, and Lemon Nation in a terrible spot now. He's trying to grab Doublelift here, but he's not going to be able to do it, and Hotshot is going to be able to get the follow-up, the flash, but Chalster, he's got the slow, he's got the leap, he picks up the kill.
Nice.
2-0 for CLG early on.
Wonderfully coordinated. You didn't technically even need Chester there. You already got the kill onto Twitch without the help, but just having stage 1 there just to pick up the number 2, more than perfect. And also, we'll get to see what happens when you have a stage 20 with items just a little bit sooner on in this game. So we'll see how he does. Meanwhile, top lane, you got High on 9 with the charge, sending Hotshot
flashed
backwards.
For it.
He flashed for it, didn't get a whole lot, and you see the Hecarim tanking the turret. Will the Ignite actually be enough? One more tick. Yuzuki grabbing the kill on Kennen there in the top lane, diving deep for that one.
It's so difficult to get away from Hecarim's charge. He's just so fast, and he flashed and then knocked Kennen back to Riven. And so Kennen was almost able to get out of there. I mean, he used his flash. He was almost able to escape, but Yuzuki was able to chase him down. So really great play.
I think they're just going to try and take out the turret right now.
Yeah, they should be able to grab that.
They should be able to grab it. It's actually going to back off. They're just going to take it down as low as possibly could. That's why. Because you got a Pantheon coming on down. You have to be cautious.
The giant circle of death.
You do not want to be sat on by Big Fat. It's just not a pleasant thing.
It helps keep him farmed a little bit, but it is allowing Diana a safe lane here. And Nien has been pretty safe so far. And now he's at the point where he can just range farm, particularly once he gets that the blue buff and some more mana regen. But Doran's allows him to duel. He's looking for kills. He's going to look to sustain against Pantheon a little bit, but then just start running around and following him, chasing him down for those kills.
While Turtle throwing down some acid into the brush, get some chunks on a Doublelift. A little bit huge, now brought down to below half.
That was great harass exchange from CLG, though, because Lemon Nation, he was trying to put pressure on Doublelift, and we saw that in the previous game. He was just constantly attacking Doublelift, but Doublelift was able to skirt around the side of him, and the entire time, Nyut Yuen was just laying into his backside. He was just crushing him there, so really impressive play. They're able to wear down Lemon Nation and avoid that burst from Twitch. So we'll see what continues there, but it's always really scary. If they land a snare with someone, then Twitch could pick up a kill very quickly.
And as always, we got to keep an eye on the Black Cleaver watch. You got the one Brutalizer built onto Riven, Pantheon actually working towards his. So we may see Yuzuki actually get the first Black Cleaver of the game, but not say Big Fat won't be getting his not too far after. And both of these champions, very brutal. It doesn't matter. Riven benefits so often from Black Cleaver. Pantheon does. Talon does. There's so many champs. Lee Sin, if he's laning, can also.
Well, it's an item. Brutalizer's an item that they were going to get anyway. Like even if you played Pantheon or Riven, you were going to get Brutalizer because it's such a strong item early in the game. And even if it didn't upgrade into anything worthwhile, it was still worthwhile to grab it.
Added bonus.
Even if you didn't want Yumu's. And now it's just for it to be upgraded and give you all the cooldowns, because it gives you everything you could possibly want as an AD, like assassin, kind of carry champion.
Yeah,
whatever that role is. It gives you everything you could possibly want, and then a really cool passive on top.
And I'm worried too about when if the inevitable nerfs come through, where it's just like, let's make it a unique passive and things like that. Pantheon, just as a champion, can actually itemize into both Cleaver and Youmu's, which is still a massive threat.
Yeah, that wouldn't actually be that surprising if the passive didn't stack between them. It might be given like a name or something, but the bait from the end, he's able to get Big Fat out of there. There's the ultimate.
Oh,
Big Fat
wow.
just barely able to dodge it. Really quick play, and he's able to exchange very successfully there. And he has the HP regen, so he started off with so many pots that he's successful there. Lemon Nation almost going down, and they have control of that ball lane once again. But Double Lift, they have to watch out because Diana and Hecarim are both coming down, and they get the slow from Twitch as well. The cleanse is down.
Cleanse coming from Double Lift, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Just wait. There's the Lulu ultimate, keeping them behind. Pantheon coming in will be sitting on top of no one. All the former Quantic managed to get out, but Wild Turtle stayed down a little bit too long. There's Big Fat charge into the wall by the Hecarim. Can he make it to his turret? Will he be safe at the very least? Grabbing a 1-for-1. Pantheon and Hecarim both going down the end. Being brought down a little bit still by Win. But meanwhile, top lane, you do have Hotshot with a little bit of help from Chowster taking down Yuzuki.
I can't believe they were able to get out of there, but Double Lift, no, he goes down.
Go fullback. Always fullback when they're still there in the lane, because you never know, they might still be able to get you.
Yeah, so that's pretty devastating for him to go down in that situation. But Quantic's going to be able to pressure up that turret. Chelsea and Hotshot, they're not going to be able to grab this. So Zyra's actually going to be able to stall. Oh, actually, with the second mini wave, they'll probably be able to get this. So
yep.
they will drop it. Zyra not going to do enough in order to deter them there. So they're going to grab that. So they have a turret advantage. Wild Turtle, I'm not sure if he's going to go for it. I don't think he is. I think he's trying to leave it up. But
I think he's just happy running around in circles.
Yeah, I think he wants the laning phase to last, so he's not going to drop that turret. Ezreal clear is going to prevent that anyway. No, but he's going to walk up and grab it last second.
Yeah, I think he was waiting for the Ezreal. He just didn't want
I think
to put
he just
wanted that spot.
He just wanted the turret to clear out as many minions as possible to deny as much CS as possible, and then he grabs it at the last second.
So with that, both top tier 1 and bot tier 1 down, just one for each team though, so still turret count is still 1-for-1, and the gold is still not barely 500 gold apart. It's still a very even game. Only one kill separating both of these teams. Former Quantic, now Team Nom Noms, just one kill behind, but they're doing okay. They're not doing too bad, and this is definitely better to see considering what happened last game. Where it's just the leads thrown and then recouped from CLG.
Yeah, it is a very even game so far. But CLG, they're in a position where they can start to put on some of that pressure. Same thing with Quantic. Like, both of these teams are looking for blood right now. High L9, in particular on Hecarim, is just... Hecarim's a monster, and he's looking for those kills. He's coming up on Hotshot. Hotshot does have his ultimate up, so he has the ultimate and the flash. Riven comes in, gets the stun. The ultimate is burned before High gets there, but Pantheon's going to try and turn this around.
There's Hotshot, actually flashes away after being charged. High L9 with the ultimate does get the kill on the cannon, but has to run and split away from Yuzuki in order to disengage. Can he meet up with Neon Tanso? I don't think it will be, because Chaucer's there with the slow. Cannot get away from all of that ice, and Chaucer grabbing the kill onto Hecarim, and still an assist actually onto a Hotshot post-mortem.
Yeah, so they do pick that up, but it allows Yuzuki to get back into that lane. He was already farming pretty well. Picking up a kill is definitely huge. They get the turret as well, but Shalster's coming up for the top. He has that red buff still. It just wears off. So we'll see if he can pick up Yuzuki here. I don't know if he has enough damage, but he does have his ultimate still.
There's Chaucer, walks into the brush. One attack. That's going to keep Yuzuki from backing, and he knows he has to at least duel.
Oh, he has him.
Yeah, there's nothing really that can be done about this. Uses the ult, keeps him still, tries to flash up, but there's the charge. The shield will be enough. Try for the stun, did not land it, and that's a kill there top lane for the Sage 1. Double up exhausted, exhaust, cleanse, and the ultimate, not even enough to actually get him to safety. Used everything to try and escape from that, and it still was not enough.
Twitch's burst damage is absurd, and the Twitch Zyra combo, being able to grab him there, is very strong. So they're going to be able to pick him off. They're going for this dragon now. Zyra can take that pretty easily with the seeds, so they're going to be able to get those plants. But CLG, as a result, they're going to transition over to the blue, it seems. So maybe even come mid, Dien, he's actually maybe looking for a kill on Big Fight here. He uses the Ignite. He jumps in, picks it up very quickly.
And that's
so very impressive for him to win that exchange.
That is definitely the power of Diana, all that burst damage. So once Big Fat's done with that first cleaver, maybe he might want to consider possibly something like a Hex Drinker or a Maw, or maybe before he starts working on cleaver number 2 and number 3.
I mean, maybe, but you know, it's hard to say. I mean, the health that you get from the cleaver, if you can just stack those cleavers and then just ignore the Diana, it would be very strong on his part. So we'll see if he decides to go that route. Really, it's a matter of getting involved in the game, and he's been sitting mid. Diana, by pushing into the turret, effectively pushing the turret, has held him mid, and so Nien's done a really good job of preventing Pantheon from being that active throughout this game. And so, I don't know, it's kind of held him back a little bit, but we'll see what's going on. He has that Black Cleaver, so Black Cleaver 1 is done. There's the Black Cleaver war has begun, but we'll see who's going to end up on top of that. But it's both teams with some unusual item choices. Chalster doing very well for himself. He has a Warmogs and is just using that Sejuani to just be insanely tanky. Yep. And that's going to work very well against Quantic's team, because if he can control the front line for the rest of his team, that's just going to open up so many possibilities for both Pantheon and Ezreal in team fights.
Yeah, and Chester could have itemized into the Golem Essence. He already had the Giant's Belt ready, but it's like, you know what? You're doing very well. You're actually doing really well. 3-0-1. Yeah, the gold. You might as well get a Warmogs. You might as well get that extra health. You might as well stay. Huge presence. And let's face it, Chester's going to be up there on the front line along with Pantheon. You got to be beefy to stay up there right in the front of every single skirmish. You got Yuzuki looking to engage on the hotshot, throws down the ultimate, but here comes the Hecarim. Hotshot, can he get out? Thrown into the wall, throws down the ultimate. The ult from Riven, I don't think
just barely not enough.
Just barely not enough. Hotshot is ignited though. Will he be able to rush away? I mean, he is, but he's going straight home. Can he actually make it? There's the tower shots coming down in, and meanwhile, during this entire chase, we've been missing a lot down bottom, but we'll go right back to it. Hotshot manages to get away.
Yeah, and in the meantime, some quick kills from CLG down by the Dragon, partially because of Sejuani, I believe. So Sejuani being able to pick them off, but using that Kenan's survivability to get out of there, really impressive for him to be chased that far, because they have just so much mobility.
As for a second, it was like Hotshot may as well be on Italy. Like you just can't chase. You can't win. You can't. You'll always escape.
Yeah, and that's what he likes, going those champions that he knows he can get out of there quickly. So. Really impressive play, but being able to pick up those kills, Pantheon was able to get a kill by that Dragon is huge. They get the Dragon as well, so really impressive play by CLG now. It's still in Quantic's favor. Like, they still have that lead. There's the Pantheon burst. Lemonation realizes he has to get out of there quickly because the Ezreal ult might pick him off.
Yep. And that was only with one cleaver. Imagine how much more damage it would have been with 2, but we may see what happens there in about 10 minutes. But here with the presence of Niantanso here on Diana, push back CLG just a little bit, but it cannot last forever. You have Riven up top, you have Twitch down bottom, and CLG knows this. They have the vision. They know where everybody is. And while they try and dash in, there's the Kennen ult to keep Diana from going anywhere. And this is a little bit of a miscommunication, I think.
Yeah, the quick burst damage, Diana maybe thinking they're going to go in or just trying to poke them off the turret. So CLG is able to grab that and pull them back to even now. And that's a really scary prospect. But we'll see where they can go. The first locket was done for Zyra, so that's very strong in those early team fights. Twitch, getting deep in those items, going for that Infinity Edge. That once he finishes that, he's going to just have so much damage in the AoE that if they can control the front line of those fights and protect Twitch from Pantheon, it's going to be very difficult for CLG to live through that. But we'll kind of see what's going on with there and what both these teams can do. I don't know. I'm really curious to see how they're going to start grouping now. Like what are going to be their goals here? Are they going to is CLG going to try and split this up some and look for kills? Or I mean, it's been kind of a hectic game so far, and I'm curious to see what kind of structure we'll start to see in Season 3.
Well, I think at the very least moving down into the mid game, these are 2 AoE-oriented teams. So I think right now CLG may just start throwing their weight around, because at the very least, with the Kennen ult, you're still relatively mobile when that thing's going in. You can still rush, you can still get your positioning right to where you need it to. Whereas Quantic, they may be using their ults more of a defensive manner, apart from trying to get quick pickoffs when they can. Like as we see Niantanso now doing bot here with double F. But this could be a cue for CLG to actually be more aggressive in the mid. Or, again, you have someone down bot. Hot shot, split push is what you're used to.
And so Nian able to grab that kill. You know, CLG right now, it seems like they are going to go with that continued split push, like you said. But that opens up pickoff potential. And now Quantic has a team that can pick off CLG. They couldn't do it the previous game. They can this game. Right. So CLG can't quite be as loose with you know, some of their splits. Chalster very tanky, poking down a little bit, almost gets himself caught off, but he's just trying to get vision. He does have vision of Wild Turtle there, and they will back off, but Quantic is going to be able to steal this blue, and Diana going top to deny Hotshot from that split push.
What I want to see is this go, oh, Hotshot using the ultimate just to keep him away, but there is Pantheon. Hotshot trying to lure back in, and no, it will not be the case, but there's the flash and the stun. Big, fat, huge damage. Diana regretting the engage. I will never pick on Kennen again.
Well, the damage from Diana was absurd. You know, she almost able to pick that off, but not quite able to do it. Chalster, though, forces the fight. He has the AoE for them. They get into the backline on Wild Turtle, and that is exactly what they need to do. The charm, though, the snare double lift almost going down. If he can get over this wall, that would be huge, but Chalster gets the double kill, and now Yuzuki's coming in as well. They will have to back off. In the meantime, they're getting a top turret for it. So Chalster, as long as he survives, which he's too tanky for them to take him down, he's going to be fine. He backs off, but they're still pushing it, and they're not going to be back in time.
They will get this. I mean, they can get the main support. You just got to kill all those. Big Fat's still.
They know they're going for the dragon.
And this is normally trading a tier 1 for a dragon is pretty good. A tier 2, you're still at a huge disadvantage. That much health off of a tier 3 tower, yikes! It's halfway done.
Yeah, it's putting them in a dangerous spot, and now Chalster can decide if he wants to try and steal this. Yuzuki zoning him off because Heil 9 was pretty low, but Chalster, it seems he might go back in for Heil 9. So just trying to keep an eye on him while they're stealing the blue on the other side. But Nian could pick this up. Big Fat is very low in mana, but he has that blue buff, so they have to watch out for that turnaround.
There is the Q. Nian wanted something off on Kennen, but nice flash away. Will actually keep the Kennen safe. Good on Hotshot there. Big Fat still running interference. Like, no. If you go after my little rodent friend, I will stomp you. You will be stunned, and you're going to regret it. Lemon Nation, nice ward into rush. Finds out a Chalster, and he needs to dash over the wall, get back into a red buff area to safety.
Well, keeping an eye on them is a really great thing, and Double Lift actually using his ult as well, because they have a really great damage team to take down that Baron. So because both Hotshot and Big Fat were forced back, they were both low health, there was the concern that Quantic could just drop some plants from Zyra and then just drop the Baron. But they do keep an eye on it. Chalster's tanky enough that he could just kind of run around in the middle of their team and, you know, just laugh at them while they try and kill them. But they are able to back off. Yuzuki pushing down the bottom lane just to try and get that momentum. That's really important to keep up the lane momentum against CLG. Because, you know, CLG's very strong about forcing engages as they have the momentum in these lanes to turn it around.
Yep, and ex-Quantic, they know they've picked off Double Lift down in bot lane before. Free farming, they may be able to get it again. They could also try here top lane. Hotshot taking some huge damage. The pullback will keep him behind, and Yantanso with the little bit of help from the DFG.
Well, he can't expect Big Fat to save him every time.
Right.
And Nian doing a really great job there, knowing he has easily enough burst damage to take down Hotshot. He picks up the kill, and that's really dangerous for CLG to let up those kills and let people, you know, pick them off. Chalster trying to force this fight, but they don't have a way to engage on Twitch now. Twitch is perfectly safe, and there's the Zyra ultimate to zone them, but Heil 9, he's actually going to drop before they can take him down, so it is a really nice pickoff for CLG. The Shirelias, or actually just a little bit of movement speed being popped from that, but they will back off now.
Yep, and that was a pretty damn good ult, too, just to make sure that everyone's safe and that no one really regrets going into that engage. You have to find some coming from Zyra. Double Lift being brought down huge. And Yuzuki from Beyond Turn, just a few quick swipes of the Q, able to finish the work there. And you know, what I thought was going to be Black Cleaver number 2 is actually going to be the last Whisper here for Big Fat. He just wants big damage. He wants big armor pen. He just wants to make sure that armor can no longer exist for anyone on Quantic. And here he comes in with the ultimate. Will he be able to land stun onto anyone? There is Yuzuki brought behind. And a little bit of help from the Kennen ult. Hotshot going to go down next, but Yantanso, can he escape? He is still ignited, but there's a double kill. Twitch cleaning up Wild Turtle. Can you make a miracle here? Chaucer right out in front with the slows, with the damage. One smack in the mace takes it.
Oh
Diana.
my god, Sejuani is incredible.
Wow, Chaucer. I never knew Sejuani could be so beautiful.
it's just so incredibly beastly, just running into him. Sejuani does scale based on her health, so you know that's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of health
to scale from having as much health as she does. But
wow,
nice play there, and the quick burst, you saw it from Pantheon, but I was surprised they were actually able to take down Twitch. So for Sejuani to be able to win the 80 carry versus Bruiser battle is very significant, because that means that Twitch is going to be pressured in those team fights. And I was actually about to say that at this point in the game, Quantic has a really nice advantage in a lot of team fights if they can bait out the ultimates from CLG. That's still probably true, because Quantic has a little bit better sustained damage with Riven and Diana, whereas CLG is like about burst. And once their burst is done, once their cooldowns are on, you know, they're a little bit weaker in those team fights. But if Chalster is able to control those fights that effectively, that's going to protect for Ezreal in the back line and open up a lot of opportunities for them. But not if Doublelift's getting himself caught out, so he's definitely going down here. Hecarim going to be able to grab him here. Doublelift goes down very quickly.
This is a problem, and CLG, if they didn't get the idea the past few times they're caught out, it might be a good idea just to travel as a full 5 so you can't get sniped out like this, because it's these small little advantages. You are giving opportunities for former Quantic to come on back every single kill.
At the same time, where? Like, I mean, they're not getting these opportunities. Quantic they're trying to push down bottom, but they're still going to stall a little bit. Yuzuki's going to probably go down up here top now. They're going to be able to grab him out. And so CLG, the times when they're getting themselves picked off, it's pulling Quantic into situations generally where they can't win these fights. Hotshot just barely surviving. Quantic is able to grab one turret, but Yuzuki does go down. So it's an exchange. One turret for one turret, one kill for one kill. The question now is if CLG turns this around, and with Nien dropping that low, Quantic has to be scared now, because Big Fat, the next stun he gets is going to be a kill.
Big Fat's looking for it, flashes for it, finds it. The Lulu ult, keeping everyone popped up, but Jan Hanso still manages to find a way out. Waiting for cooldowns. Can Big Fat make a difference here? No, Twitch melting through the armor. Kill credit actually going to Zyra, and Yatwin needs to back off of me, but there's Chowster being a hero once actually running past everyone. You know what? No, Lulu, never mind. I just need to go down the road here for a second. But still, though, Wild Turtle, he's going to be caught up in that slow, will not be able to do anything about it. There's a
Can't kite him. Chalster's going after Diana too, but turns around, realizes that Lemonation's just too annoying.
And no mana.
He's not going to be able to get out of there. They are close to taking this down, though. Those seedlings, they're almost enough. Nien jumps in for the kill, but Chalster turns it around, one kill, and then Lemonation picks it up. So a couple of exchanges there. But the previous fight here, Doublelift, jumping way out of position. Very surprising. I think he underestimated how much damage Twitch had, and then he jumped into the Zyra ultimate because he thought he was going to pick up a kill. And then Twitch, the second he used Expunge, he was able to just burst down Doublelift very quickly.
But see, like, as we mentioned earlier, these are trades. These are all flat-out trades. And we have to think about when is the moment? When will things start turning? And these will stop being like one-for-one trades and start being full like 5-0 swings. Possibly here. You got Big Fat actually getting caught out here, swept up by the vines, but he is actually pretty beefy right now. He did buy himself a Giant's Belt, so he's pretty much done with damage at this point. He's just now taking up, making sure he can stay in the fight longer.
Yuzuki holding off top, though. I mean, it was a big effort for CLG to take them down the previous time. So he's actually just kind of split pushing, knowing he can take out Kennen. Chalster, a little tough for him. Pantheon as well, trying to get that ultimate. Yuzuki trying to get out of there. But Chalster throwing off the ultimate actually misses. And we'll see if Yuzuki can pick up a kill here. That would be huge if he could at least go 1-for-1 here.
There is the Ezreal ult to help out with all the damage, and he's not too far away either. But former Quantic, recognizing that they had some 3 members up top lane, they're going to try for the Dragon. But there's Hotshot with the ultimate flashes. Wonderful flash over the ridge from River just to escape the pursuit.
Oh, he's not going to escape that, though.
Wild Turtle, just in the right spot. Very well done.
Yeah, the Invis Twitch is pretty annoying, but it's interesting. Both teams are actually using a similar tactic in that they keep on split pushing one person and baiting the team on one side in order to take advantages on the other side. And Quantic in particular, splitting off Yuzuki, they're able to get turrets, they're able to grab the Dragon. You know, so it's working out for them, and we'll see how that kind of continues. But the later and later the game gets with Twitch is just going to win every single team fight if CLG doesn't have a way of taking him out. So that's, I mean, like, you need to be able to pressure Twitch where he doesn't get his full auto attacks and get full AoE onto you. You need to like split up as a team and force Twitch to kind of run in those fights.
Right.
Otherwise, he just has so much damage.
Which is unfortunate too, because right now CLG's team, they are all very close together. They're all up in your face, and especially when you have someone like Lulu on your team, you're reliant to be in the middle of the fight so everyone else can piggyback on the slow that you're providing for the rest of the team. Stage Y is going to be in the middle. Kenan's going to be in the middle. Pantheon's going to be in the middle. That's perfect. It's perfect for Twitch. Just line them up. I'll take them down.
Now CLG backing off for a moment here. Lemon Nation going to try and get a snare. Not going to be able to grab Nyut there, but they'll back off and just pull back safely. So safety. So we'll see what Quantic starts to do again. They have the oracles. They have control over the Baron now, so they could try and force a fight, but that would be really scary against the AoE team that CLG has, particularly with how tanky Chalster is. But we'll kind of see how both of these teams. I mean, like neither team really has any significant advantage here. They're just both slowly beating at each other's bases.
Yep, and we also saw what happened last time when the first team to try and go for a Baron. That's not going to happen here. This is everyone's a little bit healthier. No risky Barons at this point. We are actually at 30 minutes on into this, so it's still, you're not going to be getting too low going for a Baron like this. And even that's going to be the full 5 team.
I'll be honest. This is a very unusual game. I mean,
I'm okay with that.
And I think this is maybe something we're going to see a lot more of. At the moment, while people are trying to figure out what's going on with Season 3, but both teams are just kind of picking off each other. There haven't been really any full fights, which is great. Skirmishes, you allow you to take advantage of things. Hotshot a little bit caught off there. They'll be able to regroup, but neither team. I mean, both teams know one full fight oftentimes can mean game over. So it's been all about skirmishes in order to take small objectives, and both of these teams have just been like brawling back and forth. They've just been beating each other, like the 10th round or whatever round of a boxing match between heavyweight contenders.
Yep. And then when you have to look at the all-out brawl, you have to look at what differentiates both of these teams in terms of things like items and champs, picks and skill, or getting caught out. The wrong start could be disaster. Chowster getting chunked out huge, down to 25% health. You're supposed to be the front line man, the front line pig, but there's High L9 not going to be connecting onto stage 20 with the ultimate, but great ult from Chowster, keeping everyone still. But there's Hotshot with the Zonias, keeping everyone in the AoE, but will it be enough for a stun? No. Diana with the dash, with the rush, and plenty of damage to take out the Cannon Big Fat, caught on behind from the vines. All more than enough damage to take out Big Fat. And there is a Guardian Angel now onto Riven. She will be coming back, and this is now a 3v5.
That might be GG, though. Quantic,
I think you're right.
At this point in the game, they have so much damage. They're going to bully their way in. They're going to get the inhibitor here, and they're going to see if they can maybe push in. But actually, Chalster coming back, so he's going to be able to stall that for a little bit. Double Lift is still very safe, but you saw Ezreal didn't have enough damage to wear down that front line, and once they were able to bait out the ultimates, because CLG wasn't grouped, they were split into tiny little groups. The Kennen ult was used without anyone taking any damage, really. So that was, kind of a waste. The Chalster ultimate was used just for him to survive. And it's that sustained damage and quick pickoff potential that Quantic has, and the fact that they're not quite as tied to cooldowns that is helping them out. And now Chalster looks like he might get caught off again. Diana's going to try and cut him off here. He's trying to get out quickly, but I don't think he's going to be able to escape.
Shirelli is being popped just barely. Just barely making it out there, but making a decision to go back in, meeting up with the Vine, only getting the stun, only the ultimate on the Lemon Nation, but there's a slow to pop back on into it. Yuzuki going straight into the middle of the fight. Also, here comes Pantheon rolling about. There is the jump in, there's the stun, and all of the spears not enough to take out the Wild Turtle, and now he's in a 3v1 situation. Meanwhile, up on here, there's another 3v1 going on here. CLG trying to take out Yantanso, but now resulting in a full retreat, seeing as Pantheon is now gone down in the glory of battle.
Yeah, they just can't take down people fast enough. Wasting, or using the Sejuani ultimate to try and take down the support. They're not able to grab Lemon Nation. Even so, I mean, Lemon Nation, it would have sucked for him to lose that Oracles, but it would have been a winning situation for his team. And then Ezreal, he's not able to duel with Diana and Hecarim, which is the big concern.
He's not able to duel, period.
He has a lot of survivability, but they just have so much sustained damage and are so tanky. and it's the double dash. The fact that Diana is so strong against Ezreal, he can't escape from them, he can't do damage. Hotshot coming in, trying to use the ultimate. They could try and go for the steal here, but he's going to drop very quickly, and Quantic going to be able to turn with Nien onto doublelift as well, almost picking up that kill. But the Baron has completely reset, so Hotshot trading his life for that Baron. That is huge, and CLG, if they could take this now, that would be just game-changing for them.
I'm a little befuddled because former Quantic, they pretty much had the Baron on lock. It wasn't very far away from death, and if they just stayed in the pit, actually, Hotshot's ult wasn't actually hitting the. I think it was just like
they were so low though. They were so low. They couldn't allow Hotshot to come in and attack them freely. They needed to fight him, and they went after him. It's getting very close. They're going to be able to grab the Baron. The question is, can they get out of there in time? Doublelift has no mana right now. He doesn't have a flash. He's not going to have enough for the Arcane Shift. They're chasing into him. Riven jumping into him. He might barely get that Arcane Shift off. It's not enough right now. They're killing Yuzuki over the wall. Doublelift trying to survive, but Wild Turtle trying to drop him here. The Lulu ult actually going to survive, make him live, and then Big Fat trying to pick up the kill. One more spear, can't quite grab it. But CLG grabbing that Baron. They do lose 2 members though, so it's going to be rough to see what Quantic takes as a result of that.
I'd like to say everything. Actually, I'd like to say it may very well be, because we have 40 seconds until both Pantheon and Lulu come back in. We had quite a bit of a mess there, and mid inhib is actually still down, but I think former Quantic may take the safe route. They're now down here in bot lane. I think they're just looking to get another inhibitor at the very least off this push, so they know that next time they can just regroup, push down into the mid. They already have they have 2 lanes pushing up with super minions, and they'll be in a really good spot. And not to mention 6k gold.
Yeah, so Quantic, they should be able to take this inhibitor before, the rest of the members come back. They actually back off. So just a little bit concerned there. They don't want to get... I think the thing is they don't want to have what happened in the previous game, where they're trying to take a turret, and then there's that long fight where they're a little bit low. They're chased away from the base. They have a lot of gold to spend, I'm assuming, right now. No, not really. But they can grab that dragon and go back.
Now they got gold to spend.
Yeah, but so CLG scaring them off, which is kind of surprising, because CLG, they don't have enough damage to take down the frontline members of Quantic, and then Doublelift doesn't have enough damage to deal with Diana. Diana can just dive onto him. So, once he can survive against Diana, that's going to be huge for CLG. But right now, Quantic is in a really great position. Though getting that Baron was definitely a big play for CLG.
Elimination will be caught. Yeah, just fair. 2 recalls.
Well, he's trying to steal the blue, couldn't quite get it from the end. So he barely had them with the ward here.
Instead, you got 2 members prevented from that just abuses me. I'm sorry. This is funny to me.
Well, it's a short cooldown. I mean, you might as well go for it. If he could have gotten that blue, that could have been devastating for Diana in those fights.
But there's still 3 members of CLG that still have their Baron buff here, so they have at the very least that, and there's still a good amount of pushback in terms of creep waves. Just Pantheon alone, just a million spears onto the creeps, and that is a wave cleared. So they have a pretty good. They still have a very decent defense here, and if ex-Quantic does make a misstep, if someone does get a little bit too overzealous, if the Sejuani ult lands where it needs to be, and they actually get everyone to converge and actually kill someone caught in that ice cube, they could still come back for CLG, but they have to work for it.
Well, now CLG has to figure out if they're going to be able to defend this. You said they have a pretty good defense, and they do have good AoE clearing, but the fact is, it's going to be interesting to see how these fights happen, because I feel like Quantic is still in a situation where they can just dive after CLG and win those exchanges. But you can see Quantic's respecting them right now. They don't want to allow CLG to maybe pick off 1 kill and then retreat with that Baron buff and regen and then chase them down. But I don't know, maybe a little bit too defensive, but they're actually going to wait off for that Baron. So even with the Baron, or even though they might be a little bit stronger right now, the Baron for CLG is kind of scaring them off, so they'll back off. But that's going to allow CLG to get deep into those builds, and that could bring it to anyone's game as the game progresses.
In terms of now new items, Hotshot actually went out the Haunting Guise upgrade, which during those ultimate procs is actually going to be doing quite a bit of damage, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah,
it's going to be pretty strong. I mean, I love that item, Leandri's Torment.
There it is.
Haunting Guys is just a really cool item in general, but to upgrade, it gives you % health for spell damage. And that's kind of a struggle for Kennen, is that late game damage, so that'll definitely help him out some. But it allows you to go the Haunting Guys early on and feel like you're not wasting your late game.
Chester out in front, getting a little bit of a slow, charging just a few inches. There's Neon Tanso off on the side, trying to get a Q in, proc something, anything. But the Yuzuki, enough time has been killed. The Guardian Angel is back to his extra life, but there you go. You got the stage 1, only keeping high on ISO, but there is Hotshot off on the outskirts with the ultimate and the Zonias, but one shot from Turtle behind the back of the head, getting that kill on to the Kennen, and the rest of CLG in full retreat, wants to get back to their base. But you still have a lot of low members of Quantic, but the Turtle, though.
And you see Quantic just bulldozed them there. They have such a stronger team at this point that even with, the Baron did drop. So Quantic waited until the Baron was down before they, came up into their base. CLG tried to force a fight, but they didn't have enough damage to take down the tanky members of Quantic. They were trying to see if they could pick off Twitch. Chalster was able to hit Twitch with his ultimate, but Twitch just cleansed, was able to back off. Kennen wasn't enough in the end, almost dropping, but uses the Zonias just barely to survive there. They're getting pretty low, but that's going to be another inhibitor for Quantic. And the late game that they have is just so insanely strong compared with CLG's. So CLG, it's going to be a really big effort for them to come back in this, but probably going to go to a game 3.
Yeah, 8K gold lead at 40 minutes. Yeah, it's pretty safe to say game 3. Anything, it's there is still a chance that we saw near throws coming from CLG game number 1, and they brought it back. We could see a near throw come again, but with a lead like this, every passing minute gets less and less likely. But hey, we will have to see. You did have everyone from former Quantic go back, bought themselves some nice stuff. Double Phantom Dancer here for Wall Turtle, just waiting for his moment, waiting to strike from his moment, the rat in the bush. But he decides to pass on that. That would have been quite hilarious. I'm sure that Ezreal would have gone down rather quickly. But we may see, though. We may still
they're trying to chase him down, though, and this is perfect.
Oh,
Wild Turtle's going to walk right into him. They don't have vision, but if he can go in Viz, that would be huge. But Wild Turtle trying to take down Doublelift, not quite able to do it. But Hecarim coming in, trying to take down Doublelift. The Lulu ultimate is going to protect him. If he can kite here, then this could maybe be CLG's opportunity.
There you go. Pantheon coming on in. Both members of Quantic standing still, waiting for the stun. Shouster charges into Neon Tanso, but is popped up by that Zyra ult. Again, does take out the Lulu, but goes to Zonia's block, and here's comes Hotshot. Wants to make sure he can get the stun onto everyone, but Diana at the very least will be taking down the Ezreal in the fray. Hotshot, will he go down here? Yes, he will. Riven picking up that double, and now Chester's the only remaining member. Triple for Diana, so a triple-double, and that should be it. And that is the ace.
It's something where before Season 3 and before this kind of game evolved, if you had an 80 carry advantage, that was a one-team fight almost every single situation. Now, Assassins are too strong. Diana's always been strong, so she's been around for a while. But, it's the fact that in the end, Doublelift, even though he was alive and Wild Turtle was down, he couldn't do anything because the second Nien joined the battle, there was just the threat that he was going to insta-die to that Diana. And so that insta-death threat that Diana gives, it wins them those team fights. And that's a quick turnaround for Quantic. So, the high damage team works out perfectly for them. Quantic with really impressive play and able to bully around CLG, but I can't imagine that CLG is going to allow Quantic to get that Diana pick again.
Yep, so now we have 2 teams. It's been very well established now, just even alone in this series. If you didn't already know what champs to not let certain teams have, you have now been fairly well educated. So now heading into game number 3, we can assure CLG probably not going to be having that Shen, or possibly not even a TF. And with ex-Quantic, more likely not going to be having that Diana, possibly forced in a position where they may not want to have Twitch. But going into game number 3, we'll have to see. And remember, the winner of this next game will win the set, and go on to the grand finals of this Royale to go up against Curse NA for a winner-take-all $500. So we'll see what happens here. Game number 3, CLG NA and the former Quantic, now Team Nom Nom. We'll be back in just a little bit.